Sir Michael Wilshaw spoke after the Times said two right-leaning think tanks were to criticise Ofsted, and one would call for it to be scrapped. He told the Sunday Times he was spitting blood, and blamed Michael Gove's department for briefing. A source close to Mr. Gove said no one close had encouraged the attacks. The Times on Friday reported that Policy Exchange, which was set up by the Education Secretary, and Civitas were preparing to call for a radical overhaul of the Ofsted inspection regime, claiming it was trapped by 1960s progressive approaches to learning. It said Civitas would say Mr. Gove's wish for schools to develop their own approaches to teaching was being held back by child-first orthodoxies among inspectors, who were stifling innovation. Policy Exchange, it said, would say the current inspection regime placed disproportionate pressure on teachers, while its judgments were too inconsistent. Sir Michael told the Sunday Times he suspected the think tanks were being informed by the Department for Education, possibly Mr. Gove's special advisors, and he was displeased, shocked and outraged. "I am spitting blood over this and I want it to stop," he said. Asked whether he wanted Mr. Gove to call off the attack dogs, the newspaper reported, he replied, "Absolutely." He added, "It does nothing for Michael Gove's drive or our drive to raise standards in schools. I was never intimidated as a head teacher and I do not intend to be intimidated as a chief inspector." Another think coming, Sir Michael, who inspects children's services as well as schools in England, was appointed by the coalition and he and Mr. Gove had been thought of as allies. Sir Michael has also in the past drawn criticism from teachers' unions, and defended his organisation, saying it had done more to raise standards in 21 years of existence than any other organisation. "The criticism of Ofsted from the left and from the right is unjust and what it is doing is undermining our authority," he said. He also said that in parts of the country no one was effectively monitoring free schools and academies, the newspaper reported. "If I see things going wrong in an academy chain I will say so. If people tied to the free school movement think I will not do that, they have another think coming," he said. "As long as we exist and have the job of raising standards, we will do the job fairly without fear or favor." Sir Michael also expressed his concern at right-wing critics of the education system who, he said, wanted children to be lectured for 6 hours a day in serried ranks. Such rote learning, he said, was not enough to produce successful learners in the 21st century. A source close to Mr. Gove told the BBC it definitely was not the case that the Education Secretary or anyone close had encouraged the attacks.